Hello everybody, this is Character Board Let's Play Final Fantasy IX. I'm gonna probably mention this on This Week in Kyrex as well, but I was actually just out of the house for about an hour and a half at the gas station because I went up there to get a soda, and one of our neighbors works there. We didn't realize she was our neighbor at first, because like the first month we were here, but we used to chat with her all the time and hang out with her. And she was working the morning shift, and she doesn't usually do that. So she was a bit jittery about that. And I didn't have anywhere for her to be, so I figured, oh, I'll hang up here for like 5 minutes and talk with her, you know. We're outside just chatting. And while we're talking, across the street by the McDonald's, suddenly, just out of nowhere, we hear this huge crash and see this white car. I think it was a Monte Carlo, I think is what the one guy said it was, just in the air, flipping over and landing on its top. And that's just a hellacious car wreck. That's not the kind of thing you just walk away from. So she started calling 911. I ran over to see what was going on. The other guy apparently knew the guy. The white car rear-ended the guy in the Jeep or whatever, you know? And the guy in the Jeep was just yelling for him because he was unconscious and he wasn't responsive. And another guy came from the McDonald's side. I don't know if he was in McDonald's or if he was from the apartments. I told him to get the door open. The one guy had to hold it open. And then they're trying to get him out. And I'm like, okay. And I told the other guy, you get the guy, I'll hold the door. You know? So we checked for pulls. Cops came there. Told me, of course, you know, you can go chill across the street and we'll get to you when we get to you. And they never got to me. I finally went over there when most of the cars were gone and asked if they still needed me. And like, no, I guess they got everything. Because it was a new cop on the scene at the time. He wasn't one of the ones who had been there for it. So, yeah, I just basically sat up there for an hour and a half watching them deal with this. As far as I know, the guy's okay. He was okay enough to fight with the cops, so yeah, not the smartest thing after you've just been a wreck. But it happens. There is a friendly monster in this area that we're going to try and get to. Stop there running as soon as I'm done. Just watch. It's like the one thing that guarantees I'll run is if one of my characters trances while I'm running. Because then I make the decision, oh, I'm tranced, I'll kick some ass. No, you're gone. Fuck you, game. But yeah, that was a pretty serious thing. See, I compartmentalized pretty well, so I didn't get as shook up about it. Although, believe me, I started off as freaked out as anyone would be in that situation. It didn't help that the top of the car, well, the bottom of the car, at this point it was the top of the car since it was flipped. But the bottom car was smoking, and of course, I immediately had that thought, oh god, it's gonna explode. And then I remembered, wait, the Mythbusters proved you have to basically purposely blow up a car to blow up a car. You need to, like, put an incendiary round in the gas tank. Cars don't just explode, you know? So I got in there and did what little I needed to do. Because I didn't have as big an impact as the other two guys who actually pulled him out and checked on him, you know? But nonetheless, the girl who worked there, our neighbor, she was just a nervous wreck. Of course, this was the second one today she'd seen, and it was like the third wreck in 3 days. It's just a bad interception for wrecks. All the more reason that I really watch my ass when I'm in that street there. But yeah, see, she stayed nervous longer. It might have been because I was actually over there to see that everything was okay-ish. Or just the fact that once the danger was past, I just calmed right the fuck down. But I was mostly relaxed for the whole thing. I guess that's a good quality. If humans were still wild, that would actually be a very bad quality. Because that would basically mean as soon as the predator's out of sight, after about 5 minutes, I'm good, and that's when they fucking nail you. As I've discussed before, humans are pretty much off the food chains. I don't have predators to worry about, really. Alright, I'd really like for this friendly monster to pop in so we can do a thing. It's the last friendly monster of the disc. For the record, we're almost done with disc 2. Basically, there's this tree, then we go somewhere else, then we come back to this tree, and that's the end of disc 2. Nope, that's not it either. We'll get to it, I promise. For those wondering, my grinding video of choice now is Girls Play Five Nights at Freddy's. And I've only ever seen them do the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, but they're pretty entertaining, the girls. And that Renee girl is just hot beyond reason. I mean, oh my god. It's another girl, I don't know all the names. Yeah, I can pick out like 3 of them right now. But she's got dark hair, she's pretty hot too. They're all attractive, but I mean, those two are just, oh my god. But the thing that's funny to me is right now I'm watching them play Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and they're all having the reaction to Toy Chica that, oh wow, you're hot! And the funny thing was, I think the first one was Drea. She's sitting there, she starts out like talking shit to it, like, I ain't afraid of you, or I hate you, I'm gonna kill you. I'm like, oh, you hot. You're hot. But they're entertaining. I've also got Slow Beats Cave Story Hard Mode. Something else. I don't know. Dashy Games, Five Nights at Freddy Run, just because it's funny watching people do shit puppies. And that's just the kick I'm on, is watching the Five Nights at Freddy stuff, because most of the other Let's Plays I would tend to watch are very long, and thus very large files, and thus kind of a pain in the ass to download. And that I only have like an hour and a half or so at a time at McDonald's to do this with. And no. Actually, I got stuck at McDonald's yesterday because I didn't realize that it was going to rain, so I was about ready to leave. I looked behind me and suddenly, bam, it's just fucking pouring down rain. As only Florida can do. So I got stuck there for another half an hour, and then I went home, only to find out our streets were flooded. And by flooded, I mean shin-deep water, just the bottom of my shins for the entire park, mid-shin for a lot of it, and in the right spots near my house, if I stand in the middle of the road where it's the deepest, the top of my, or the bottom of my knees, just barely touching my actual knee. And I'm between 5'9" and 5'11", so that should tell you how deep the water is if it's going that far up my leg. But I enjoyed it. I actually love to splash the cones. That's something I never grew out of as a kid. I love to splash the cones. I got to enjoy it more the second time when I walked my niece and John to the front of the park so that they could go get dinner. Dinner being hamburgers. Because this time I didn't have an expensive laptop in my backpack that I was worried I was going to drop. Because I was carrying the backpack. It shielded from the rain from my body. It wasn't raining, it was drizzling, and it was in a plastic bag, but again, you get as little water near your backpack as you can by virtue of the fact that it's a fucking laptop. And if I had somehow dropped that backpack, that would have been it for the laptop. The laptop would have died. I would not have had the funds to repair that shit. But yeah, the second time when I left the laptop in the house, I had fun splashing all the way up there and all the way back. It was great. Roads look like shit right now, though, because of all the dirt and leaves that have walked into them. You need a street sweeper bad. Wouldn't do any good. In a couple days, it'll probably happen again. We've had a very rainy season. A very moist rainy season. More so than usual. Which is saying something. Now, I'll bet my old neighborhood probably flooded too. It wasn't prone to that kind of shit at all. It's actually been flooding a lot here, but yesterday was the first time I noticed it. It was the first time any of us were out in it. Because normally we're content to just sit up on the second floor when it rains and leave when it stops. Go little pink Ferengis. Set your ass on fire. Seriously, at what time is Goblin Punch ever a useful attack? I mean, maybe if we were level 1, but by the time you get it, there's nothing to it, you know? Nothing at all. Anyway, there's a lot due to happen at the start of Disc 3. Disc 3 is a very busy disc. Disc 3 is when we start getting some mobility, like we get our first ship, we get more functions with the Chocobo, etc. It just gets ridiculous. And of course, Disc 4 is always where everything goes crazy. Unless there is no Disc 4, in which case the last disc is. Is there a 5-disc PlayStation game? I don't know. Maybe. 4 seems pretty much the limit of what you can stop there. Again, I'm sorry for all this inadvertent grinding. I'm looking for the friendly monster for this area because it kind of matters. Kill him first. That's what I do. I give sexually transmitted diseases to Cannon. Why? Well, you gotta do something on today's things, right? Even though today is Sunday. Now that any people know or care what day it is here. This is probably 6 months ago by now. I'm actually leaning rather strongly towards these videos starting in January. Don't know if it's going to be a thing. Could happen in December. That cup is empty, by the way. Don't grab it. My soda cup is sitting on here, but I have a 2-liter, which I don't normally do, but the soda machine is around the place. So normally I make it a point actually not to get 2 liters because I used to be only drinking soda, you know. So it just, I really ought to cut back on what I am drinking because I have good water now, you know. I don't live in a place with shitty water like I used to. I can, and frequently do, don't get me wrong, I do drink a lot of water. But I live in a place where my water is good enough that I have a cup in my room, I can walk it into my bathroom, which is connected to my room, fill it up in the bathroom sink, and just drink it. Because I got good water here. Kind of ironic, I live in a city called Clearwater. And they live up to it, damn it. I'm good to drink this shit. Give this goblin the hurts. So I'm gonna steal whatever he's got on him. Yeah, Disc 3 is when things start getting fun. I start digging up more chocograph pieces. I find new chocograph finding locations. Like Chocobo's Lagoon, for example. And it's frankly ridiculous how good and how many items I get from chocographs. Like, for example, there's one where I'm just getting like 40 of 4 different kinds of gemstones, and it's just nuts that I would ever need that many. You know? You'll notice I didn't super grind Echo to as high as you can go. fuck it, and I'll have plenty of time to grind later when I have a full party to choose from. Which happens around Disc 3, you know? Disc 3 is about the time when I finally start getting people for real. Not getting people, but getting the ability to actually control my own destiny, so to speak. Where I just decide, okay, I'm taking a party of Zidane, Steiner, Kalina, and Eiko, you know? I don't know why I'd build that particular team. It's very rare for me to ever put Steiner in a party without Vivi unless I'm grinding him. If I am firing for effect, so to speak, then Steiner and Vivi are always together. But yeah, there's a guy that we can trade an Oglop to for an Oglop card. I may have caught one simply because Eiko had that one. I don't know. I don't think I did. I don't think that counts. But there is an easier way to get an Oglop card, and it's actually kind of story-based. It's the one time in the game that you actually need to be good at this card game. And here's the thing, I want to like this card game. The reason that I keep having card games on camera is because I'm hoping this will be the point where I just find the version of this card game that I just enjoy. I'm like, oh wow, this is what the card game should be. And then I just get lost in it for 3 videos, you know? Man, goblins are resistant to herpes. That's a lesson to you. It's safe to screw goblins bareback. They don't got the herpes. That being said, always wear a condom if you're a goblin. I know the ear's the wrong shape, but I cannot shake the comparison between these goblins and Ferengi. Okay, am I supposed to be in the forest to encounter this damn thing? Because some of them are like that. Oh, she learned jelly. Let's see here. Alright, am I in the right area at least? Plains. Well, I'm getting the cards for the damn thing. Friendly monster is a nymph, and she should be pretty cute. Because most of these friendly monsters are cute. But they're also generally not, you know, distinctly feminine, so we'll see what she looks like. Jelly! Shell is a good spell, even if it's worthless on the girls, because it wears off so fast. I think there's an ability they can get later that lets them omnicast, meaning I can just target everyone with single target spells, and it's a beautiful thing. In which case, things like Reflect, Haste, Shells, Protect, etc. will be useful again. I'm sorry, no. Haste will never be useful because I'm never not going to have auto haste. Because there is, to the best of my knowledge, nothing that is such a big deal that I should get rid of auto haste for it. Auto haste is the best ability, bar none, period. There are some other good ones. Auto reflect, very good. Auto light, very good. Because there is an auto life ability as well, and I think it works similar to how Queen's ability works, where you get to die once and come back to life. I'm kind of hoping that pretty soon I will get enough ability points to have auto reflect on, so that I can start showing off Dagger's ability to protect us from spells and still cut through them with healing. In the meantime... Wow, we actually have quite a bit of ability points. Alright, I would really like to run into this nymph, please. Please. It'll be a pain in the ass to get back here in Disc 3, so I want to do it now while I'm here. I'm really sorry. Apparently, I had intended for this to be a story thing, but apparently it's an inadvertent grinding session, and I apologize, because it wasn't supposed to be that. Also, that with a brief glimpse of Dagger's very lovingly rendered backside. There it is again. Girl has a great butt. They paid a little too much attention to her backside. Not that I'm complaining. We're gonna tent. We're low on everything, and we just need to fucking tent. Yeah, I know it looks like I have a lot of money, but in Disc 3 we go back to Trino, and you saw what Trino did to my money once. It'll do it again. There is actually one more special item I need to pick up in Trino, the Rat Tail. Because I've already sold the other ones, you know, Une's Mirror, Doga's Artifact, Ripped Heart. Once I get and sell the Rat Tail, and I'll probably buy it again just for the hell of it, I will be well on my way to unlocking the Excalibur. Stop. Fantastic weapon, that. Probably his second strongest weapon in the game, strongest being Excalibur 2, which, no, there's no fucking way in hell. I passed that hours ago. I passed that a day ago. For the record, to get the Excalibur 2, you have to speedrun the game, and I do not enjoy that. But you don't just speedrun it, you speedrun it to the extreme. Let's take a look at my time here. You have to basically beat the game in 12 hours. As you can see, I'm 32 hours in. Over 20 hours ago, I passed that time. So basically, subtract 20 hours from my total time, and right about now, I'd be in spitting distance of the last boss, and then I'd have the thing. Honestly, if you can get through the game that fast, you don't freaking need it. You know? If you can get to Disc 4's final dungeon in 12 hours, no grinding, no nothing, you obviously don't need Excalibur 2. See, I'm a firm believer in that the prize should match the effort. In Final Fantasy VII, when you beat Emerald Weapon, you get a special thing that lets you go to this guy and trade it in, and you get a master materia of magic, skill, and summon. Which is nice, but if you can beat Emerald Weapon, you don't need it. Then there's the worst possible prize, which is when you beat Ruby Weapon, you get a free gold chocobo. Which, from my experience, is worse than the gold chocobo you probably already have. Because chances are, if you're good enough to beat Ruby Weapon, you probably already have a gold chocobo. You know, so what good's it doing you? And that's just kind of a thing. I mean, at least Emerald Weapon's thing is useful. You will use it. You don't necessarily need it, but it's nice to have, because most people don't have Master Materia, because it takes more time than it does to beat Emerald Weapon. Which I've only done once, by the way. Only ever beaten Emerald Weapon once. I know more of the trick to it, because it turns out his Airtam Storm does damage to you equivalent to the amount of materia you have on you. Well, one of the things I always do, and so did everyone else I knew, was load up on HP plus materia to get your hit points as high as possible to survive Airtam Storm, which turns out only made the thing worse. But yeah, I know not to do that now. See, when I used to play this the first time, I never knew if that was Aoife Tree or Life Tree. It's Aoife Tree. I've seen it in enough places. It's definitely Aoife Tree. I may not be pronouncing it right, but that's what it is. Yeah, inadvertent grinding session. Yay! Okay, so pointless grinding. I didn't really show it off because it was kind of pointless. But if you go back to Madain Sari, you can talk to the Moogle, I think it's Morrison, who sits right up front. And he has a Mog Shop, which sells stuff I've already got, and items I don't necessarily need right now. But, you know, if you're running low on, say, potions or whatever by now, it's a good thing to do. But, yeah, Eiko, for those of you keeping track, is character number 7 of this. We've got Zidane, Vivi, Dagger, Steiner, Freya, Quina, Eiko, and one more. And that one more character is coming up after the infantry. Have all 8 characters in this game by the end of this. Now, character number 8 is a lot of fun. He's a very cool looking character. He is reasonably powerful. But the problem is, remember how I said there was a character roughly tied with Quina for lack of character development? Well, that's him. He does get some, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he doesn't develop, but his development is very subtle, very in the background, and you can be forgiven for missing it entirely. It's just kind of a thing that happens. It honestly makes me think that he was meant to be a hidden character, because there's almost no attention paid to his backstory. I mean, they do get into it. And he does change. All the characters, including Zidane, even, change. And for the better. They do change for the better. But, again, this guy he really gets shafted as far as development goes. I'd say the character with the most development would be Steiner. And then Dagger and Vivi tied for second. Let's say Eiko, Freya, Zidane, and then Quina and the other guy are last. That's just my personal opinion. Zidane doesn't get a lot of development because he's mostly complete as he is. He's where he should be for the most part. There is still room for improvement with him, but if you notice, he is very much the voice of reason. He's absolutely the leader of this group. Because on the one hand, he'll seem like he's just this laid-back, carefree guy who doesn't take anything seriously, and to an extent he is. And then he'll pop out of nowhere with just words of wisdom, or just the right thing that needs to be said at the right time, you know? Like, how he's basically coached Vivi in Past His Fears, basically saying, look, you can't do anything about it now, don't tear yourself up about it, just go on with everything else in your life, and when you've got the strength to handle this, you'll handle this, you know? And with Dagger, she keeps saying he treats her like a kid, but he's actually pretty respectful of her throughout the entire game. Like, he's the one pushing her to improve herself, teaching her what she needs to do to fit in and be a real, normal girl, you know? And even Steiner, for as much as he fucks with him, he actually treats him shamelessly. He's kind of a jerk to him, but he also seems to understand, look, this guy's been a very sheltered existence, just like the princess. He's trying his best to be a good guy. I'm not going to fault him for it, but he's kind of in the way, you know? Likewise, he and Freya have that very camaraderie thing going on. He's even about as understanding as anyone is with Quina. So he's pretty much where he needs to be character-wise. There's a couple places he could use some improvement, and he will get that improvement. For example, even though he's right there for everyone else's problems, you'll notice when it comes to his own problems, he just compartmentalizes and shoves everyone away. And that's something he'll learn to deal with. Steiner, the last time we saw him, he was starting to trip down his character development, where he's learning that he doesn't know what he thinks he knows, and there's more to life than a black and white existence. Also, I glossed over it. I completely kind of ignored it, in fact. But Eiko's wings are real. They're functional. You saw her use them to avoid an attack. That's the second time that I've noticed her doing that. But since I had float active at the time, I figured that's what it was. But yeah, those are functional wings. Those are real wings. I don't know if they're real biological wings, but they do work. And anyway, most of Eiko's development, as I recall, keep in mind, I haven't played through the entire game too often. But if I recall correctly, most of her development stems from the idea of just being around other people. Because keep in mind, she's been alone for a sizable portion of her very, very short life. I mean, she's just barely older than Vivi, and that's only because Vivi's only about 6 months old, you know? And of course, Dagger's character development deals with her balancing being a normal girl with being a princess. You know, Freya's kind of complicated, because she, for the most part, is where she needs to be as well, but she's dealing with abandonment issues, forgotten, and all that stuff. You know, she's dealing with that. And to a very real extent, also trying to just lighten up. Zidane's trying to lighten her up. Quina just... yeah. Development centers around the fact that that creature is a walking stomach. And it's not so much getting it not to be a walking stomach as it is using that to its advantage. For example, during Eiko's little cooking scene, where Quina came in and was like, oh no, this is how you cook. Well, who among us realized that in addition to eating food, Quina was actually pretty good at making it? I didn't. Hell, I've played the game. I've seen that scene before and I forgot it. I figured Quina was just a mindless stomach, and all it knew how to do was just eat everything. Turns out, while Quina's dream of just being a gourmand, which I could be wrong, I think a gourmand is basically like someone who just goes around sampling everything. It's not a word I come across very much. The only thing I can compare it to is gourmet, which is, I don't think, the same thing. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll accept it. I don't fucking know. But compared to some of the other dreams they have, it's more shallow. But Quina is completely serious about it and does actually actively work on that. Of course, on that note, Quina is also a very simple creature. And this is played both as a flaw and a virtue. The virtue is, because Quina is such a simple creature, it's very happy with its lot in life. Quina would have been perfectly content spending its entire lifespan, which who knows how fucking long that is. It could live 1,000 years for all we know. But Quina would have been completely content spending its lifespan in Q Marsh, where we found it, just eating frogs. Would have been completely fine with that. Could, for all we know, that thing could live 1,000 years in that same marsh eating those same frogs forever and was fine with that. But on the other hand, while that's a virtue, the fact that it can be so content in its existence, it's also a flaw in that there was absolutely no desire for self-improvement until its master came out and said, hey, get out there and eat something else. We're running out of frogs, damn it, and you're not good at catching them anyway. So yeah, like I said, the character development in this, and don't get me wrong, all Final Fantasy characters really tend to have development. Well, all non-secret characters And even some of them get it too. But they all tend to get development in some regard. But I think this game is the most blatant about it, you know? I mean, even my much hated Squall and Cloud get development. My issue with them is that they get it so late in the game that it doesn't fucking matter. And their development is pretty much, hey, don't be such a brooding douche. Oh, okay. And honestly, I really think one of the reasons I like Zane so much is he is very much the anti-Squall. To the point where he does have a line in the game directly mocking that. Programmers actually gave him a line, him specifically, a line, pointing out the fact that he is nothing like that, and making fun of it. Which I personally find hilarious. Also, it really pisses me off that running away seems to make them get more turns. Have you ever heard of a fighting retreat? Okay, I'm about fucking done with this. Okay, we're gonna do 3 more encounters, and if I don't get it within 3... Yeah, 3 is very much my magic number here. If I don't get it in 3 more encounters, we're just gonna finish the story, and I will find it off-screen. It's not to say I'll fight it off-screen. It's just I will wander around for as long as it takes to find the damn thing, and start the video when I do. How much do you want to fucking bet that it'll literally be the first thing I run into? That's happened before, where it's just the first thing I find. Now, speaking of friendly monsters, there's actually another type of friendly monster that I have completely ignored and only hinted at the existence of a couple of times. It's called the Ragtime Mouse, or the Ragtimer. I've seen it in a strategy guide as the Ragtime Mouse, and I've seen it elsewhere as the Ragtimer. I forget what it is in the game. There we go! See, was that really so hard? Anyway, the Ragtimer appears only in forests all over the world. Oh, she's pretty cute. And what he does is he has a quiz. Aww, okay, you can have some more. God, she kind of reminds me of Toy Chica now. Except significantly less murderous. But he has little quizzes, and he's like, oh, well, here's this thing. Is that true or is it false? And you attack. Like, the O if it's true, like, oh, no, you don't get a sapphire. The O if it's true, the X if it's false, you know. And he gives you money, I think. And there's like 10 or 11 times he shows up. She's gonna give us something for the Jabberwock, which is, ooh, look for the Phoenix! An emerald, that's for the Jabberwock. We'll get to him. But yeah, the Ragtimer, very similar to friendly monsters. There's a lot of similar traits to them. Same music, in fact. But yeah, not really going on there. Ooh, that's an important one for later. So now that we've done that, let's Moogle and get on with the stuff. I don't think this tree is too big the first time through. And we're gonna save. Just in case, because I don't want to lose all that. And the reason we're moving on, even though this is normally where I stop the video, is because I don't want this whole video to be just me looking for the nymph, and I was tempted to cut it off and just pretend this video never happened, except I didn't want to lose all the commentary I'd done, because I went over a lot of stuff, and I actually kind of liked where the commentary went. So I just decided, no, we're keeping this, and I'll just deal with it. Yep, see, that's definitely an eye. It is. That would be the barrier. You know, you're supposed to ask Eiko or Aiko, but we're gonna have some fun with this. Because reasons! Boom! Notice, Summoner's Horn. Well, Dagger's a summoner and doesn't have a horn. Interesting, interesting. Ruby, now she can learn Carbuncle. Yeah, I was about to say that was just for show. He asked him to hurry it up. Asked her to hurry it up. Now, I'm not gonna have her learn Carbuncle just because I think Auto Reflect is more important. Ooh, that reminds me. Body Temp. Did I equip? I did not. That's gonna be important. Now, Heat. That is what we are focusing on here. This protects against freeze and heat. We've already discussed more or less what freeze does. Heat, I believe, is when you move, you die. Really that simple. So for obvious reasons, we don't want that to happen. Ever. Now there are lots of monsters in here for blue magic, which we will come back here with Quina later. To nom the shit out of them. However, the ones we have here are also really easy to kill because they all have some kind of function with these. Oh, I'm sorry, except for these guys. But there are monsters called Stropers that are made of stone, so if we hit them with a soft, they just flat out fucking die. Again, I have not really worked on grinding out Phoenix Minions. That will come later, and rest assured it will. Probably around the time I get Master Chief, which will be after Trino, actually. It'll actually be on my third visit to Trino, because the second visit won't have the Thief's Club yet. I need to get another thing to happen first. Okay, can I show off some new enemies, please? We've seen the Myconid before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I fought that on camera. I know I fought it, I just don't know if I fought it on camera. Ah, here we go. There's something new for your ass. These here be zombies. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Never mind. I feel stupid. As well I should. I think they need an actual life spell. Of course, that works too. That works pretty good, actually. I'm about to say, you better be dead if the other two went down from so little. Okay, I have a couple of those, and I forgot to look at them. What the hell do magic tags do? Oh! They cure zombie. That's right, I remember now. Oh, other coffee, by the way. Yeah, see, that's why they didn't do it, because I tried to cure death and not zombie. Now, as I recall, there really isn't a whole lot to this place. It's just kind of wandering around. I don't feel like fighting more mushrooms. I will, I guess, if they enter. Roots forever, man. Wow, this is the strobe. I'd say, do I even have any of these? Because I don't remember ever having to use them before. Became too soft to live. Wow. It's horrible. Paradox. But you may recall that Zidane actually has the Stone Killer thing. So if I didn't use the cheap trick like that, I could just have Zidane batter them into non-existence. Oh, little mogul, I've got some mail for you. Mochi. That is extremely heavy, Mochi. You'd be surprised. Yeah, now we're gonna stop. Alright. See you next time. Bye-bye.